There's absolutely nothing better than that first, second, third cup of coffee of the day. So, number 3 for me. By the way, this is how much movement I have back in my hand. More on this a little bit later in the episode. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down some of the weirdest guns on the internet. It's going to be awesome. Spot the new clips in the intro. See you guys on the other side. Very glad I didn't do that with that ad. Okay, let's get into this, shall we? Right, okay, so what I did, I went on some of the Facebook groups that you are potentially in, and I said, listen guys, show me some of the weirdest guns. And boy, I'll tell you what, there is some crazy things out there. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into these. By the way, if you want to tag me in some weird gun pics, my Instagram username is @ImpactShootin'. Give me a follow, I'd really appreciate that. And then tag me in some of the weird pictures that you guys see on the internet, or DM them to me and I'll have a look. Maybe we can do a follow-up version of this video. Right, so first things first, getting us started. Okay, this is some sort of device to train shooters how to lie in a shooting position. Now, what I really don't like about this sort of style of shooting, when you're not squared up towards your target, your recoil is going to be a little bit, off-center. Not a little bit, it's going to be significantly off-center, and it's actually going to recoil you off the target a little bit. This is a very old school way of teaching. It's a super clever way of, getting that technique down by shifting those blocks, and as the shooter becomes more proficient at the position, you can remove those blocks. Yeah, I guess it's going to work to train somebody that's really, really new. Personally, I like having my hips straight towards the target, so imagine if you guys were the target, I'd lie down exactly straight towards you with the rifle going into my shoulder, and that way my recoil is going to go straight back, my body's going to absorb that, I can run my bolt and get back on target really quick. So yeah, this is an interesting device, I'd never seen this before. So pretty cool. Wow, okay. Shoot fast, eat ass. If that's what you're into, then I guess that's also okay. That thing looks like it's some sort of heat blaster straight out of Star Wars. If you're under 16, yeah, I'm sorry. That's classic though. What on earth is that? I'm having a little bit of trouble getting this rifle sighted in. Anybody have some ideas? Holy moly. That is a contraption of note. I don't even know what it is. It looks like there's some sort of trumpet on the front. There's some sort of grease gun in a stock. The image quality is not great, and that's unfortunately the case of a bunch of these. The image quality is not like super high def where you can actually really go in and zoom in on this. This next one's quite interesting. My buddy Brad actually had his buddy reach out to him and say, listen, I've got this old rifle, I want you to work on it. They are located in the US, and he helped him out a little bit. Now, on closer inspection, Brad actually noticed that there was a swastika engraved or stamped into the side of this action, which was pretty interesting. And he actually did some digging. And what he found is this rifle had actually been converted in caliber just after the war into like a hunting rifle. So that's why we still have that insignia on the side there. But pretty interesting piece of history, making that rifle round about, what, 50 years old almost? So yeah, it's a pretty interesting piece of history there. Holy moly, what on earth is that? Goodness gracious. Okay, well that's some sort of modern muzzle brake on an old piece of wood. Goodness, look at the state of this oak's desk. That gives me heebie-jeebies. Okay, and then there's some sort of AR wrench that's there with a modern buttstock. Goodness gracious, that is an abomination. Wow. People have some interesting stuff. I would be very skeptical to shoot these things. Especially given the state of that guy's desk, and there's a whole bunch of Monster Energy cans there. So yeah. Now at this point in time, it's worth pointing out that I'm not an expert on like old school rifles. Okay, we shoot the type of rifles you guys see behind me. This is the type of guns that I'm used to shooting. That one is so heavy that with my hand situation, I had to like have it on my elbows to get it into the Radian tripod in order to set it up for us like that. Anyway, quick update on this. Went to the occupational therapist yesterday. They didn't have the right brace, so I actually get refitted with a new brace today. This one has been hurting my hand a lot. Anyway, let's jump into the next rifle. This guy seems to have put an M-LOK sort of slot rail so that he can attach Picatinny rails to the front and the fore end of his rifle. It appears to be a bolt action rifle, judging by the bolt on the side there. It's got a red dot on with a nice cheek riser, some sort of weird plastic magazine that almost looks like it belongs on a teacup. But it looks like he's almost clamped. Whoa, let me zoom in on that. It looks like he's almost clamped the sort of rail sections of plumbing clamps. And then it also appears by the muzzle device that the muzzle brake is orientated at a 90-degree angle, which would defeat the purpose. Well, it would at least suck if you shot close to the ground, because you're going to have a lot of blast there. So that is an interesting thing. Holy moly, this is a lever action with a homemade scope base. Again, guys, quality on these images are terrible. So we kind of have to, if you want to zoom the image, you kind of have to do this. Okay, so it looks like that might have potentially even housed an optic at one point. Damn, I've always wanted a lever action, just not one like that. Holy moly. Wow, it keeps getting worse. Okay, so this... Okay, so this is a staple gun that's been welded with little pieces of rebar to the back of a revolver. This must be a joke. I don't see that thing functioning. Holy moly, made it a little bit stronger. Went 4 out of 5 on aroma today, so we'll see how that holds up towards the end of the day. By the way, we need to get some Black Rifle coffee going here in South Africa, so if anybody knows where I can get some Black Rifle, let me know in the comments down below. But that is sketchy. It does almost appear like this has been fired, unless those sort of blackened marks are from the welding, which it probably might be. On second thought, I would not shoot that thing if you paid me a lot of money. Yeah, these homemade wood stocks get pretty interesting. That looks like it's a homemade action too. It's like a bullpup sort of design, which basically means you're holding on and the barrel is able to be longer, sort of like a Desert Tech rifle. The barrel's able to be a little bit longer because you're recycling the action sort of at the back here. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of bullpup style rifles, not ones that look like that anyway. Wow. Put a Triticon on the top. Okay, so the Triticon optic, if you guys play Call of Duty or sort of Battlefield, you're familiar with the ACOG. Okay, so it uses fiber optics to illuminate. Long story short, this guy's done sort of a homemade mod on a really old school rifle, and that looks like it hasn't been welded. It's almost like a JB weld type of thing. I think that's what you guys call it in America. We have something similar called Pratley Putty. It's like an epoxy type of thing. So that looks like that's been put on there. You got to know what you're doing in a situation like this, because if you're remotely skew, you won't have enough windage adjustment to get that rifle zeroed. So that's pretty funny. But it shows you, if you're resourceful, you can mount a super high-end optic. That thing was probably snuck out a base somewhere, because they're expensive. And yeah, a boer maak 'n plan, like they say in Afrikaans, which basically means you make a plan when you need to. Oh my shattered nerves. Okay, so this bro has made his own chassis with what appears to be an ankle grinder. Wow, so he's completely replaced his wooden stock, unless there was wooden panels clamped to that, but that looks horrific. Judging by the small magazine, this is either a 22 Magnum or something to that effect. But man, that should technically still be pretty safe to fire, actually. Wow, okay, the rebar rifle. I believe these actually do exist, that some people have put rifling down those tubes. That is absolutely crazy, and it does actually look pretty cool. It's almost like a modern fluted barrel. My 223 Remington's actually going to have a IBI barrel with like a spiral flute like that, not rebar though. I wonder what the barrel life is like on rebar rifles. Okay, here we seem to have some Boogaloo rifles. Okay, some end of the world style rifles, especially this one on the right. Holy moly, is that for like... Oh, I should not have done that. That hurts. Still straightening this arm. I don't know if the video is going to pick it up, but you guys can sort of see the blue and the stuff leaking out there. If you want, I can show you, because yesterday they cut the other cast off. So look away from now. I'll tell you when you can look back, but this is what it looked like when the stitches came out yesterday, and it's safe. You can look again. These are some end of the world style stuff. Interesting. Okay, another bullpup rifle with a very short, fat little barrel. See, the problem with these is, I don't know obviously what that's chambered in, but you have to take that rifle off your shoulder completely to manipulate that bolt, because look how far that bolt is behind his head. I don't know. Whoa, this one takes the cake. Okay, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so this guy's taken a snap-on wrench and put it in the place of where his bolt handle should be. Now the problem with that is, unless that bolt comes up all the way to the top and he's cut the section of the action out, you shouldn't actually be able to cam it over enough to get it through the back, unless, by the looks of things, he has actually cut the back of that action open. The things people do to make rifles work blows my mind. Okay, that's why, guys, make it simple. Barreled action, MDT chassis. There's a reason companies like this exist. It's so that people like me with no mechanical ability whatsoever can just plug and play awesome looking rifle systems like this that function really well. This next one from Whistling Diesel is just, you know, optic galore. I've actually done this back in the day. I had 2 Vortex optics on a rifle with a continuous rail back to back, but I never actually went out and shot it like that. I think I took a picture or 2, but I don't know if I'm still going to have that. But that was a fun little experiment, but this is just taking it to the next level. I guess that's everything Whistler Diesel does is absolutely to the next level. This one for me, I think that's it's almost the last one. This one is so awesome. This guy's made his own folding stock, but instead of like having a proper locking mechanism on his stock, like you can see that locking mechanism right about there, okay, on the MDT folder, it's super complex and it's not easy to do. What this guy's done, he's simply chopped it off, taken a door hinge like you would put on, or like a gate hinge actually, like you would put on the swimming pool gate behind the house, and he's done like the latch so that he can lock it back into place. It's genius. Oh, lovely. This guy's built an AR rifle with camera stuff, which is very ingenious. And it actually, like, the first time I saw this image, I had to I double take the classic cartoon double take, but that was pretty cool. And then this is a very interesting, it looks, what is that? It's such a pity these images are so bad quality, but this guy's got a vertical grip on some sort of streamlight or an O-light or something on a revolver with a barrel about this long and a massive optic and a silencer. So that's a pretty interesting contraption too, and that will actually work pretty fine, assuming, well, no, I'm going to backtrack. He's clamped his scope and his vertical grip and his light to the actual barrel, and that's going to affect the harmonics pretty horrendously. So that should be accurate to about 5 feet, and after that, it's going to fall out the bus. Also, something to note, with a high magnification optic like that, it's going to be really difficult to shoot anything that's close. So you're probably going to have to just like shoot from the hip. This next one's actually a series of photos, and it's quite funny given where we are currently with ammo shortages and stuff. This guy seems to be stuffing some smoked sausages into his 45 magazine, and then he's even included a little target picture for us, which I think was pretty golden. This one actually reminds me a little bit. My dad had one of those mini mags growing up, 22 long rifle, and we used to shoot it all the time, but it was tiny, didn't have a trigger guard, so not super safe, but you could pocket carry it. And when we were like in the 1990s, we'd go with him to the bank to actually go and withdraw the cash for the guys, to pay the guys at the end of the week on the farm. And he used to have his little mini mag. And then what he would do, because he was a responsible parent, he would walk with a fake bag, and he'd have us put like 20,000 Rand, which was a lot of money at that time, in our like school backpack, and we'd be walking out the bag, and he'd walk a little bit ahead of us. Super dodgy. Guys, that's our little breakdown of these, you know, fun little pictures on the internet. If you've got more of them, as I said, follow me on Instagram, tag me in some photos, DM them. Perhaps we can do a take 2 on this if you've got more extreme ones. I want to thank everybody once again. Thank you guys for supporting, you know, buying the courses. That's helping a lot with our medical builds with regards to that. By the way, that code recovered 25% of our reloading course and our precision rifle course is still valid to help us cover the medical expenses for this stupid accident I had. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little breakdown. Something a little bit different, but as you know, we can't shoot. In other news, I'm starting actually therapy next week, where I can start doing exercises to get us back to where we need to be. This brace actually needs to have a backing on it too, but it's super uncomfortable, so I'm really excited to go into a new brace this afternoon. It's making video editing extremely tricky, so I apologize for, you know, sort of uploading slower. It's taking me almost 4 times as long to edit the same video, so this one's probably going to take about 8 hours, judging by how long I've recorded and everything. Guys, once again, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, you've got the notification bell turned on, all of those good things. You comment for the algorithm, share this video with some of your mates. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. Cheers. Bye. Hello. Yeah, very good, sweetie pie. Lots sweetie. Oh. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Okay, say beer? Bye. Ah, sorry.